I think hands down, one of the biggest epidemics we have in the fitness industry right now is wrapped around ex-athletes, and no one is talking about it. There's so many ex-athletes that stopped playing sports 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, and the majority of them are out of shape now. The majority of them are fat. The majority of them have no confidence. The majority of them, if you look at them, you wouldn't have been even able to tell that they played sports when they were younger. And I think that is one of the most neglected industries right now, is the ex-athlete industry, because there are so many ex-athletes that I talk to in their 30s, 40s, late 20s that look like shit, out of shape, unconfident, and they haven't felt confident in years. And I feel like there's no one online that is really talking to that crowd and addressing that crowd. And I want to be the one to do this, because it's like, dog, at the end of the day, all you need to do is get back in shape. You've been in shape before. The thing that pisses me off about the ex-athlete crowd is you guys have been in shape before. This isn't something that's new to you guys, right? Where we can have grace, because like these people are new to fitness, new to exercising, new to dieting, new to eating good. But when it comes to the athlete background, this is something that you did before. This is nothing new. But what happens is, right, we get busy, life starts to come by, we start to have kids, we get married, we get into a comfortable environment, our wife loves the way we look, right? We get around friends and all they do is drink on the weekends now. Nobody in our crowd and in our space is active anymore, and it creates a perfect environment for someone to stay out of shape for the rest of their lives. And that's pretty much what's happening to ex-athletes, right? We're not really having anywhere near the level of activity as we did when we were younger playing sports, right? The most activity that you get in is probably going to work and going home, right? So you clock in 8-9 hours, you come home, you sit on the couch, activity dies. You drink beer, you eat a whole bunch of food, you don't do any amount of exercising, and you pile yourself into a surplus. And that's what happens. We get into that compounding effect every single day, and it gets even worse on the weekends, right? Because now on the weekends, we're off from work, we're hanging around more family members, we're hanging around with more friends, we're going out to eat, and now these places that we're eating at, these restaurants, a whole bunch of calories in them as well. Right? And I know damn sure we're not tracking our calories or doing anything crazy like that. So this creates a literal snowball hill effect for ex-athletes to get out of shape and look like shit. And I think it's something that has to be called out, because we can change it. I've been in these shoes before too. You know, I started making 6 figures in my strength coaching business. I got super busy. I had a medical condition that was holding me back from being as active as I could be. And I started to build a gut. I started to get fat. I started to get out of shape. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, how the fuck did you let yourself get here? And you used to play sports. Coming from a powerlifting background, I used to play basketball, I used to wrestle, I bowled for fun. You know what I mean? All of the activities that I used to do when I was younger was around active nature. And that's why a lot of ex-athletes get out of shape. None of you guys are doing any activities that actually keeps you active anymore. So how do we go from being a unfit, unconfident ex-athlete back to the best shape of our lives? Well, that comes from habit changing and habit adjustments, right? Now we need to prioritize and make sure we're being active enough on a day-to-day basis, usually around that 8,000 to 10,000 steps mark. If you're not getting 10,000 steps in per day and you're trying to lose weight, it's going to be very difficult for you to do, because you're going to have to eat in a caloric deficit and you're going to have to rely on just diet to lose weight. And I do not recommend that. So we have to start by increasing our activity, because increasing our activity is going to start to get that fat loss process going. But not only that, the most important thing is adjusting our diet and the foods that we're eating. There is no way that you're going to lose weight and get in a confident shape and tone up your body if you do not lose weight and get that fat off of your body. Well, how do we lose weight? You need to be eating less and eating a caloric deficit. And this is why it's so important for you to have a food scale. Because this food scale, you can scale out, you can weigh your foods, and you know the exact amount of calories you're getting in per day. And that's what's going to make sure that we know that you're in a caloric deficit. So if you're not tracking your activity, which is number 1, you've already fucked up. If you're not tracking your calories, which is number 2, you've already fucked up, because how are you going to know if you're in caloric deficit if you're not tracking your calories? So activity and diet are going to be 2 of the most biggest things. And then of course, the little sneaker that is also just as important, if not more important, you need to start lifting weights. Because when we build muscle, it is going to increase our metabolism. If we can increase our metabolism, that is going to help us burn fat even when we are outside of the gym. That's why it's so important for you to get on some type of strength training protocol, get on some type of workout where you're building muscle and you're focusing on lifting weights, because as you build more muscle, you're going to increase your metabolism and you're going to create a body that is literally going to burn the fat off your body even when you're not exercising. So that's why it's very important. So we have our diet, we have our activity, and we have our strength training in place, and we give it 6 to 12 months. We're going to be back into the most competent freaking shape of our lives. But you guys can know how to do all of this and you still won't do it. Why? Because you guys don't have any deep reasoning of why you want to get back in shape. If you're just saying that you want to lose 10 pounds just to lose 10 pounds, well, you're going to lose it and you're going to gain it all back. You've got to understand that if you want to get back into shape, especially the ex-athlete crowd where you guys are so motivation driven, you got to have a real big reason of why you're doing this. Maybe you're 100 pounds overweight and you're sick of the gut that you see when you're in the mirror. Maybe you have health problems that are going to get a lot worse if you don't lock in on this. But you have to have something of deeper meaning, because if you don't, you're not going to take this serious and you're constantly going to start and stop. Lose weight and gain it, lose weight and gain it. And that's how we end up in that revolving door. So the most important thing is that you've got to find a deep reasoning and a deep why as to why it's important for you to get back in shape as an ex-athlete. The reason why it was important for me is because I lost confidence. What the fuck? What man wants to look in the mirror and not feel confident in their own physique, in their own strength, and in their own health? I got sick and tired of that feeling, and that's why I made a change. So now you have to ask yourself, well, what is your reasoning? Why is it important for you to lose weight and get back into shape? Because there's too many ex-athletes that are in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s that are completely out of shape, and I know that you can change it. It might be a little bit difficult in the beginning, but I know that you can change it if you just change your fucking habits. So to all my ex-athletes or people in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s that want to get back into shape, lose weight, and feel confident again, this is where you start at. And I'm going to be posting videos every single week talking to ex-athletes and talking to people that want to lose weight, get stronger, and get back into shape, because I know you can do it. You just need the right system in place to get you there. So make sure to subscribe to my channel if you are someone that wants to lose 20 to 40 pounds, you want to get stronger, you want to build muscle, you're an ex-athlete in your late 20s, 30s, and 40s. I am making videos every single week to talk to you and address you directly. And if you are having trouble and you need help with actual real one-on-one coaching from someone that actually gives a fuck about you, then you can click the link in my bio on my YouTube account. That'll take you straight to my application, or you can shoot me a message on Instagram at morepower305, and I'll have a conversation to see how I can help you. But subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be dropping a whole bunch of videos to help you guys get back into shape. Can't wait to see you guys. And let's fucking start today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today is the day for you to get in shape.